Tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou, tēnā koutou katoa. Ngā mihi nui kia koutou katoa. Ki te atua, tēnā koe. Kia papa tuanuku, tēnā koe. Ki te St. Patrick's Basilica, tēnā koe. Ki te hunga mate, ki te hunga ora, tēnā koutou katoa. So as always, we like to acknowledge our loving God who is always with us. We acknowledge the earth, the sacred earth on which we stand. This beautiful space, St. Patrick's Basilica, where we can gather. We remember all those who have gone before us. We acknowledge the living with us here now. And a warm welcome to you all. It's lovely to start with our Taizé, as always, for these sessions. This is our 5th of our 6 sessions now. And tonight we have Jacqui Walker from St. Vincent de Paul Society. She is the center coordinator for our office here in Dunedin. And it's been new to the role this year, is that right? What month did you start, Jacqui? 4 or 5 months ago? January. So it's really great that she can be here with us tonight and tell us a bit about what happens. It's great to see a lot of the St. Vincent de Paul whānau here too, supporting. And yeah, Jacqui is a woman who brings a lot of experience and talent to the role, but also a lot of compassion and aroha. So it'd be really great to hear what you have to say for us tonight, Jacqui. Let's give her a warm welcome.
I was just going to say, I'm Jacqui. I'm a recovering people pleaser. And it's not the right meeting. So I whipped up a wee PowerPoint. So we had a ChatGPT, or whatever you call it, it's kind of funny. And I sort of put it in the search engine and thought, okay, can you please come up with a welcome for Pilgrims of Hope? This is what it came up with. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, dear Pilgrims of Hope, welcome. Today we gather not merely as individuals from different walks of life, but as seekers, as pilgrims, united by a sharing of longing for healing, purpose and peace. Each of you has come on a journey, pilgrims of hope. And I felt like doing that, like when it happened. Often a praise weighted down by fear, division and uncertainty. You carry something extraordinary, belief that light can still break through the darkness, that compassion still matters, that even small acts of kindness can ripple into lasting change. May your journey continue with light, love and courage. I know, go ChatGPT. It was really funny, and so I took this assignment quite seriously because it's a massive privilege to speak in this space, and obviously a huge privilege speaking the voice of St. Vincent de Paul as well. So I wanted to research what hope meant. I suppose I started off on that vein for some strange reason, and so this is the definition in the dictionary of hope. The feeling that what is wanted can be had, or that events will turn up for the best. To believe, desire, to place trust. And it's quite interesting when we're doing work at St. Vincent de Paul, we kind of forget sometimes the core stuff that keeps us there. And we all come with our own idea of what it means to volunteer or work in the space. But it actually is more collective than what I think we realise a lot of the time. So then I thought, right, sorry Amy, next. Then I thought, cool, let's break it down. So we've got a dream, a belief, an expectation. It's a circle, it's a Venn diagram that's coming next. But It's a dream, a vision, aspiration for the future. A dream running from a crazed zombie with a gun. Like a desired outcome, basically, is a dream. And we all have something that's quite different to us and means something special to us. But without a dream, we can't have belief. And belief is something that we feel trust, or something that we feel a feeling of confidence, something that we base our values on. And we all individually have something different, whether it be with our whānau, or whether it be with our work colleagues, or how we place ourselves in the community. An expectation. Now, working at St Vincent de Paul, we have variant ideas of what that is as well. So it could be a perceived expectation of what someone thinks that they need and or want, or it could be an expectation of an outcome that might just be a dream or a belief. It basically is an idea that you are deserving of something, and whether you have that in your heart as a positive, or if you have that in your heart as something that is you deserve or as your right, dictates the outcome. Part of the other central circle of hope itself is faith, optimism, and love. These are the things that we kind of, I think, motivate us in our everyday life most of the time. When I spoke to a lot of our volunteers, love was kind of the main thing that kept coming up, was that we actually have love for the work that we're doing, and love for ourselves and love for other people. Most people, I would say, and that's why I laughed when I said people pleaser, is we actually are that. We want to be seen as being helpful and probably put others first before ourselves. And then the next slide is the Venn diagram of faith, hope and love, and hopefully that happiness will burst out of it. So, and then I thought, let's find some fancy people who know more about it than what I do, which is Aristotle, and he called happiness some fancy word that I can't pronounce, meaning a life well lived based on virtue, wisdom, and fulfilling one's potential. When we're kids, we all have like an idea of what that means to us, and we have this kind of like really naive idea of what it is to love and to have happiness in our life, and it could have been like having a house or getting married and doing all of that kind of stuff. And as we get older, sometimes that fades because stuff happens to us, and we lose, oh gosh, and we lose that hope sometimes because we have either been traumatised or been in a position where people have let us down. We can go to the next one. So another thing that I thought was kind of important, not a lot of people know why on earth I'm actually at St Vincent de Paul. And it was quite funny, I was in the food bank and somebody had commented with regards to the needs of people in our community and said that I wouldn't have a clue because I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. And I kind of thought, cool, that's, thank you for being real with me, because that's what I expect. And I thought, that's interesting. So I come from quite humble beginnings, and if I ever see spaghetti and baked beans on my plate ever again, I will not thank you for it. We grew up, and that was a treat. It was called spaghetti and baked bean medley, and then Mum would bake some scones, and that was like our flash dinner. So I grew up in a state house with a solo mum. I left home at 14. I thought I was going to be the biggest, coolest thing that ever walked the planet, and then I got into hospitality, so I've got a massive understanding of lots of things I think that people that are not kind of aware of. And I thought, do I say this and promote myself like some kind of weirdo? And I thought, I think it's really important to have a bit of a background of why people want to care and why people want to help. I wouldn't want anybody having to deal with spaghetti and baked bean medley. And then I kind of started teaching, and then I started teaching vulnerable young people. And I remember taking a group of kids up to the Buddhas, which I call them, and they're actually Lebanese settlement people with up in Opaho, up the top there. And some of those kids who are 17 had never been there before, and they live just around the road from us. So I was really drawn to that kind of work, and then it kind of kept progressing and kept progressing. And I think my main hope, I suppose, is to stand beside someone to encourage their own advocacy. So when I was employed at St Vincent de Paul, I was like, this is it. This is the cool place where I can actually make a difference, help all of our volunteers and our clients be able to advocate for themselves. Next slide, pretty please. So the coolest thing, because I really struggled, because I wanted to make sure that I was having the voice of everyone that kind of works with us and volunteers their time. And I labelled this picture desperate, I think is what I labelled this when I was trying to put them all in the slideshow. But sometimes this is kind of what it looks like in our food bank. And we have to be quite strategic and quite planning on how we manage the stuff that goes out to people in the community. And then we have these cool guys who, and I stole these off Facebook, but this was Joe, who looks after all the education and tries to be justice orientated, is justice orientated within the schools. So I stole this from her, it was not me. But this is kind of what we're about, is being a voice, sort of imparting some kind of wisdom or thoughts for young people to have a wee think about how they can give to their community. And they were so excited, and then Joe got them to stack the shelves with all their stuff. And this is lunch stuff specifically. So it actually made an impact that they were buying for kids of their own age. And this is them stacking the shelves. Mason's one of our really awesome volunteers as well. So Mason has graduated from being someone who was quite supported, and now he comes in by himself, all like cool cat, and manages his own workload, and feels really proud to be part of our team, and we're proud to have him. Yeah, he's a cool guy. Dex. So this, yesterday, gosh, it was only yesterday, we went round the schools to collect, Aki and I, who's our van driver, went round to collect all the donations that we had from the schools. And this is Jo doing her little promotional stuff. I think the IDT was there, taking that shiny photo. So the kids were just incredible. And so Aki and I, the first school that we went to was Sacred Heart in North Dunedin. And I got in the van and I just about burst into tears. Those kids were so excited. They were so happy. And there was this teeny tiny little wee girl in her little immaculate uniform carrying the biggest box with the biggest grin. And she was like trying to shove it in the van. And then I shook all of their hands and they were like, oh my gosh. And it was like we were somebody important. And I thought, that's really weird. They're the ones doing the important stuff. That was really cool. And yes, so when we went to this school, this was crack up. One of the wee guys was the treasurer, and he was busy counting because lovely Moyles are donating exactly the same amount as they've donated. So we had a president, and then we had the treasurer, and they all had their roles, and I was in hysterics, and I said, to the president, do you get a fancy chair? But there was no extra kudos for him being president, but anyway. And then next, and then these wee guys. We went into the staff room and kind of hung out. We were like welcomed like whānau. It was really cool being at that school, and they were super cool as well. Now, I think I need you to stop the slides. I probably have got some more talking about something important. Every time I kind of Jo Val's in the office with me, and I often ask her, Jo, do you think I should do this? And she points to this, which I ripped off the wall. And it's our core values. And it's so funny when I went to the interview and Lindley had said to me, what do you know about St Vincent de Paul? And I kind of went on a bit of a tangent, which I thought was St Vincent de Paul, which was actually not what it was. And, and then the enormity of all the little wee fingers and pies and all the wonderful things that St Vincent de Paul does, it was very cool. But every time I ask, do you think I should do this, Jo? She's like, what's our first core value? And our first core value is generosity. And that sticks with me all the time, because it's actually, I think the generosity and the with love that we give things is what gives other people hope. The other part that I really like is responsiveness. And sometimes I'm not very good at that, because I feel like I'm kind of responding to a lot of things all at once, but it's, we're getting there. And then advocacy is the other one. And once again, I think the advocacy part is the most important thing, because that gives the people hope to be able to advocate for themselves. And I think that sometimes when people are in a place of being able to provide for someone in that capacity, they forget that actually people need to be speaking for themselves rather than just fixing the problem. So that's kind of, I think, what we're trying to incorporate in that. I want to just say, so I put a box out because I really was struggling with what hope meant. And I said to everybody, can you please, well, it was a bit lazy because I was really wanting everyone to write my speech for me, but I said, what does hope mean to everybody? Because it does mean something different. And so hope is knowing that our world is full of people willing to volunteer so that others are cared for. And these ladies are anonymous and it's in the same writing, so I suspect I know who it is. Hope, I'm not looking at them. Hope is hearing the stories of people in our community who live on the edges but are still able to be grateful for the little things. I really resonated with that one, because I think when you are faced with that kind of adversity, it's very hard to stay hopeful and positive in that environment. And there's so many wonderful clients that we have, all the people, even volunteers that sometimes are finding things a bit hard, still actually have something really cool and positive to say. So that kind of inspires us as well, I think, to keep moving forward. This person actually shared something. I started here being diagnosed with PTSD, and it's been good for my self-confidence, to meet new people and to feel better in myself. I love the sorting room and I look forward to working my shift. Now, how many of us have worked in a job where Sunday we're like, man, I don't want to go to work today. And I know it's only been 5 months, but I'm always really excited to go to work today. It's just so cool. And then we've got letter from a 92-year-old resident in a rest home. St Paul, faith, hope, and live, abide these three. Gratitude and the particular love that arises from community in the last years of life was written by somebody else, well, on behalf of. So it's actually really hard to define. You can't intellectualise it. It was very, very challenging to do that, and I tried really hard. I thought, let's find out what this meaning is. And to be a person that provides that hope was something that after this situation, we were in the van and Aki said something profound, really profound. She said, we are the hope. After seeing all of the faces and everyone's so excited. And she's like, we're worrying every day about doing the right thing, being the best and, being good at our jobs and being really worried about what we're up to. When we're the ones actually providing the hope, we're cruising around in a marked van. Everyone knows what work we do and they're relying on that and they know what we stand for, which is actually really, really cool. Okay, so I totally underestimated how giving the schools were going to be. Aki and I started at 11 o'clock, and I think I finished at like 10 to 7 that night, because I promised the schools that I'd give them a picture of their goods that they had given us, because I thought, there needs to be something. There needs to be proof in the pudding that it actually means something. So we got there in the end. Next slide. And that's that all stacked up. So I sent that out, and there's more to come. We actually, for the first time, have extras. And it's so funny because when I walked into the food bank, there's a big sign on it saying extra food. There's never been extra food sitting on that shelf. And now there's 5 boxes of extra food sitting on that shelf. So I was so stoked about that. Next. So I did ask permission. I didn't ask permission to steal the Facebook photos, but I asked permission for this one. We have so many laughs, and I think that that's the most important thing. Every single day there is somebody saying something ridiculous and sometimes probably really offensive. I'm not looking at that person. But do you know that actually brings so many people joy? One of our volunteers who comes to work, and she just whips around and everything's chaos and nothing goes where it should, but she's working really hard, and that's her place to be for those couple of hours, and it's so important to her. And for us to be able to provide that space. So it's not just about what we give to the community, and I did write a list, but I thought actually that's not the important part of what we do. The important part of what we do is we provide hope with love, and all of us do that. So this is, she comes now trying on. When I first started, she wasn't this hilarious. I think she was like, who's this lady? But now she comes out in quite a few outfits and shows us what's happening. Now, and also because I'm in a church, I did take it seriously, and I thought, right, what can I find in the Bible or some kind of verse that actually resonated with me? And I found that. I don't know what Bible it belongs to, and I apologise for my ignorance, but... Oh, sweet. I'm really pleased about that. Okay. Now faith is confidence in what we hope for and assurance about what we don't see. And I thought it's actually probably, I think, where we sit at St Vincent de Paul. We don't see the hope that we give, but we definitely do every single day. And I think, gosh, was that a couple of minutes? I think that's kind of it. And I hope St Vincent de Paul will have me for a long time. And I hope that we continue growing bigger and stronger and doing most amazing things in our community. Thanks so much. Oh, thank you. Thank you.
My daughter really enjoyed the Fridays that she spends. It's only half an hour or an hour each Friday, but it's worthwhile.
And I think I'm reminded of another young man, and because I'm so new, it's actually really hard to quantify everything, I suppose, and see change or growth in a person. But there is a young man that, well, a couple actually, that struggled to speak and found speaking really difficult and challenging. And now they're, really confident and take pride in their work. And I think supported volunteer work is really, we want to be able to do that for our community as well, because everybody has a role and we can provide it. We've got a lot of stuff going on. Oh, yes. Yes. Good question. So there are lots of other things that are provided. So, and I had a very quick learning curve. First thing in January was school uniforms. So we get a fabulous donation. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say his name, so I won't. But and he and his family donate specifically for school uniforms and camps and things like that, so as children are not ostracised from other children in their same. We also do, we drop off food and things to people. We offer other kind of welfare, like clothing or bedding. We do have a secret stash of furniture just in case, and we have had to, we've helped families with that. And we, yeah.
We help out with civics, we help out
Yeah.
with volunteer,
Yeah.
don't get computers and stuff, so we can do that with them. And he advocates for people in social agencies as well.
Yeah.
And he's offered to visit with them for certain things. So
Yeah.
it's basically somebody comes and needs help.
Yeah.
We try.
Yeah, so whatever that kind of means, it could be anything. And we can't do budgeting or anything like that. We're not, we can't do that, but we can refer. So and always, you can go with someone, because sometimes that first hurdle is kind of the hardest, to sort of present yourself. So just be all relaxed and casual. Come on then, where we go. Yeah, lots of stuff. So it could mean anything. Yeah. Yeah. No. Yeah, we do have in part of our sorting room, we have a special area for new things that we can give for this Christmas that I'm terrified of, but we is there. And part of the things that some of those children donated were things like lunch boxes and blankets and things. So they took their assignment quite seriously, which was food for school lunches and for misplaced people. So easily accessible cans and ready-to-eat food and stuff, which was really good. So.
What's your favourite part of the job so far?
The people. Yeah, the people. 100% the people. And it's interesting because when I first started there, you want to do a good job for your boss and you want to make sure you're, doing all of the things, and sometimes sitting down having a cup of tea and a good laugh is actually the most important thing of the day. And it's nice to be reminded of that sometimes. Yeah. And the stories that people come and tell me as well. Yeah. That's really awesome. Definitely the people. I haven't worked anywhere with such cool people. Thank you.
Thank you, Jacqui. That was wonderful. That was very enlightening and inspiring too. And it's wonderful that with other agencies, with St Francis Trust and other agencies around the city, we're all working together and dovetail and our meals. And you're talking to me, we're lighting candles tonight, and you're talking to me about cans of kidney beans, that you want to, and that's how we work. We work on those. So thank you for that, and also your acknowledgement of all of Joe and Lindley and all the other volunteers as well, because that's such a part. And I know going into St Vincent de Paul with meals and stuff like that, the welcome you receive from the volunteers at the front desk, and I'll get the door for you and all the rest of it is just lovely, and it's really nice that we are part of your community. So appreciate that. a Vincentian family. Yeah, that's welcome. I'm not always welcome. But yeah, we are. We'd like now to continue with our prayer. If we can pray our pilgrim prayer. If we say together, living God, however poor our prayer is, as pilgrims we search for you with confidence, and your love carves out a way forward through our hesitation and even through our doubts. Amen.